to the analysis, line by line, tale by tale, narrating the antecedents you've never for once been told. We place the force of the rock behind every story, and that's the power of the rock. Rock City 101.9 FM. 4 stories untold.
The biggest news stories. This is Rock City FM News.
The time is 5 o'clock. Here is the world news at 5. First, the top headlines. Ogun warns teachers against corporal punishment as FMC begins post-mortem on late student. Fubara says he is not worried over court's stopping of allocation to River State. House of Representatives passes bill holding VCs provost liable for untreated sexual harassment reports. Man bags live jail for defiling and impregnating 12-year-old girl in Lagos State. In foreign, rescue operation underway in Spain after 95 die in flash flood. African asylum seekers jittery ahead of U.S. presidential poll. Good evening. I am MODUPE AKINYOSOYE, bringing you the news in detail shortly. Now the news and details. Ogun State government has warned teachers in public schools against subjecting pupils under their care to corporal punishment. The warning was issued on Wednesday as Federal Medical Center Abeokuta began a post-mortem on the body of a student, Monday Ario, who died last Friday after corporal punishment by a teacher at the Obada Grammar School, Idiemi. The State Education, Science and Technology Commissioner, Professor Abayomi Arigbabu, issued the warning while leading another delegation of the state government to pay a condolence visit to the family of the late student. The commissioner said the abolishment of corporal punishments in its schools is a global practice, asking teachers to display maturity and professionalism in disciplining students under their care. He said such students could be disciplined without subjecting them to corporal punishments, which would eventually lead to chaos. Arigbabu told the parents of the late students that the state government has set up a committee to investigate circumstances surrounding the administration of the corporal punishment and the death of the student. The commissioner said teachers involved have been suspended while assuring the parents of the readiness of the state government to support them with whatever was necessary to relieve them of the pain of losing their children. He assured parents that government would ensure that teachers found capable of administering corporal punishment on students under their care are sanctioned. Mr. Abdullahi Odunton, who spoke on behalf of the family, said they are not interested in litigation against the state government over their incident. He, however, said the family expects the state government to ensure that such an incident do not occur again anywhere in the state. Special advisor to the governor on education, Mrs. Ronke Shoyombo, said the state government would support the family during and after the mourning period. Ogun State government says it has implemented 80% of its 2024 703 billion naira budget 2 months to its expiration. It attributes the feat to increase in fund generated for effective maximization of revenue sources and the closure of leakages in the system. The governor announced this in Ilaru during the town hall meeting for Ogun West on the proposed 2024-2027 medium-term framework and 2025 budget. Abiano, represented by Finance Commissioner Dakbo Okubadijo, said his administration has raised the annual performance of the state budget from below 40% in 2019 to at least 75%. He told the stakeholders at a town hall meeting that his administration has constructed and rehabilitated over 600 kilometers of road in Ogun West in the past 5 years. Budget and Planning Commissioner Oladosu Olabinton said inputs from the town hall meetings would play vital roles in the 2025 budget preparation. The paramount ruler of Yewa Land, Oba Kende Olugbinle, represented by the Onimeko of Imeko, Oba Benjamin Olanite, asked the Abiodo administration to construct more roads in the senatorial district. Governor Simi Fubara says he's not worried over the Wednesday's order of a federal high court stopping allocation from federation accounts to Rivers State. Fubara, speaking at a special Thanksgiving service organized by his administration, said he anticipated the judgment. He said the judgment was the least of his problems, assuring civil servants of continued prompt payment of their salaries and contractors for jobs executed despite the allocation freeze. He also said local governments would get the allocation since his administration had met the conditions stipulated by the Supreme Court. Meanwhile, the State Information Commissioner, Joe Jackson, said the state government has challenged the judgment at an appeal court. On Wednesday, Justice Joyce Abdulmalik of a federal high court in Abuja had ordered Central Bank of Nigeria not to stop permitting allocation of River State in the consolidated revenue account to the Fubara-led administration. Justice Abdulmalik gave the order while ruling on an application filed by the Speaker of the River State House of Assembly, Honorable Martins Amawale. The Speaker in his suit had asked federal government to withhold fund remittance from Federation account to River State government. According to the Speaker, Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court had invalidated the state 2024 budgets approved by a factional assembly led by Victor Jumbo. He said the judgment was upheld by an appeal court. Justice Abdulmalik said Governor Simi Fubara has been violating the Constitution he swore to protect by receiving allocation from the Federation account and utilizing them to run his administration since January 2024. The judge also said it was a gross violation of the Constitution for the governor to present an appropriation bill before a four-member House of Assembly and to implement the bill which such an assembly approved. Hard times await those engaging in sexual harassment of students in Nigeria's tertiary educational institutions. House of Representatives on Wednesday passed a bill criminalizing the practice. The bill stipulates a 14-year jail term for staff convicted of sexual offences, as well as a 5-year jail term or 5 million naira fine for head of affected institutions who fail to act on complaints of the victims. The sponsor of the bill is Honorable Akin Rotimi, the spokesman of the House. A 41-year-old car cleaner in Lagos, Ezekiel Odo, has been sentenced to life imprisonment for defiling and impregnating his neighbor's 12-year-old granddaughter. Justice Rahman Oshodi of Ikeja's Sexual Offences and Domestic Violence Court pronounced that the child was forced to be a child, forever altering the course of her life. Justice Oshodi, who described the offence as grievous, said that the convict took advantage of the minor's innocence as well as betrayed the trust placed on him as an adult in the community. According to him, the consequences of the convict's actions are profound and far-reaching as the defilement resulted in an unwanted pregnancy at a tender age. The judge added that the convict's name should be written in the Lagos State Sex Offenders Register. The prosecution team submitted that the convict committed the offense sometime in January 2020 in Amowo Dofi, Lagos State. You're listening to the World News at 5 on Rock City 101.9 FM. Still to come, foreign, business and sport news. Please do stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. On the foreign scene, Spain has been coming to terms with the deadly impact of the flash flooding that ravaged southern communities over the past 24 hours. The last update from Valencian authorities at 18:30 GMT put the death toll in the region at 92, with another 2 people killed in the neighboring region of Castilla-La Mancha. It came after Spain's king warned that there had been enormous destruction to infrastructure, and as a result, some communities were harder to access. Footage uploaded on social media showed flood waters causing chaos in some areas, dragging cars through streets and leaving some people clinging to trees. Insurance analysts in Spain predict that the flood seen on Wednesday will mark the most expensive natural disaster to ever hit the country. For the growing number of African asylum seekers and economic migrants in the U.S., the upcoming presidential election could reshape their entire future, with many Americans saying immigration is a top concern in the election and both candidates promising to crack down at the border African asylum seekers are worried the public may turn against them. If elected, Republican candidate and former President Donald Trump would carry out the largest deportation operation in American history and reinstate border policies reminiscent of his first term in office, according to the official Republican National Committee's 2024 platform. Meanwhile, the Democratic candidate and Vice President Kamala Harris has promised to revive a bipartisan border security bill that failed in Congress earlier this year. The bill would increase asylum staffing and ensure a faster and fairer asylum process, according to the White House. In business news, judicial officers, including judges, have started collecting jumbo salaries following the implementation of 300% increase in their emoluments. The Attorney General of the Federation, Chief Fatai Fagbemi, made this known on Monday during the convocation of the Afe Babalola University at Ado-Ekiti. It confirmed the takeoff of the new salary scale for judges and other judicial officers. Fagbemi, who also is the Justice Minister, said a team of legal experts have been assembled to review all aspects of national lives, including social, political, and economy. The minister said the proposed legal review would cover all aspects of lives in the country as part of law reforms. Finally, in the World News at 5 Sport News, the Flying Eagles defeated Ghana 2-1 in the final of the WAFU B Under-20 African Cup of Nations qualifiers on Wednesday night in Lome. Nigeria had secured their place in the 2025 Under-20 AFCON, but were on a mission to defend the WAFU B Under-20 AFCON qualification championship against their fierce rivals. Arieri Parobo gave Nigeria the lead 3 minutes after the half-hour mark with a low strike into the bottom corner. Parobo struck once again before halftime, striking a venomous shot into the Ghanaian net. The Ghanaians started the second half on a strong foot but couldn't get past Hackett. A minute before the hour mark, Ghana came close to getting the breakthrough but were denied by a fantastic goal line clearance. They eventually got a deserved goal in the 73rd minute through a magnificent header. Despite pushing for the equalizer, the Flying Eagles were able to preserve their one-goal cushion to emerge as the winners at the end of the regulation time and the champions of the tournament. That was the World News at 5, and just before we go, the top headlines once again. Reported that Ogun wants teachers against corporal punishment as FMC began post-mortem on late students. Fubara said he was not worried over courts stopping of allocation to River State. We told you that House of Representatives passed bill holding VCs and provosts liable for untreated sexual harassment reports. Man backed live jail for defiling and impregnating 12-year-old girl in Lagos State. In foreign, we also reported that rescue operation underway in Spain after 95 died in flash flood. And also, African asylum seekers jittery ahead of U.S. presidential poll. For more stories and to listen to us live, please log on to our website www.rockcityfmradio.com. Thank you so much for listening. I am MODUPE. AKINYOSOYE. Good evening.
One radio station stands out as the voice of the people, and that station is Rock City FM 101.9.
Oh,